I finally got Sofie out of the service department from her warranty work, and now we are on the road for adventure. It's been a while since we've been on the road, so we took Sofie north just to test her out and see how things went. We'll be gone for about a week. Well, you can probably see the snow, maybe, but yeah, lightly snowing. So at a rest area, and you know you're in Texas when they spend a lot of money on the tile to make a pump jack. Riley's having a little bit of an issue with the weather. I'm not sure he enjoys the cold. I should have crocheted him a jacket before I left. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I have an irrational fear of these wind turbines. And while I was recording this, my voice was cracking and I sounded so nervous that I decided to record over it. But look how many wind turbines were surrounding me. Oh, it was just really an uncomfortable section of my drive. I really wish I had a funnel. So I guess I'm going to try this. Instead of hand pouring it like this, well, first of all, I needed the funnel, especially with the wind that day. But also, there are gas stations that have the DEF in pump form right at the pump, but it's usually over where the truckers are parked. What a difference in the scenery in such a short amount of miles. Well, look at that. We've been traveling for hours. We're still in Texas, but we're at Cadillac Ranch. Well, Cadillac Ranch is a public art display. It was founded by a group called the Ant Farm, and it is located in Amarillo, Texas, and it used to be located in a very small cow pasture somewhere off Route 66, but it's not a well-known fact. They did dig up all those Cadillacs and move them in 1997 closer to I-40. So from the previous screen, you did see that you could see it as you're driving along I-40. Painting and spray painting these Cadillacs is highly encouraged by individuals that are visiting, and sometimes they're repainted by people for special events like Pride or someone's birthday, but also people have used them for commercials. Well, this is totally insane because I believe it's like 25 degrees out here in Amarillo, Texas at the Cadillac Ranch. And this is pretty much it. What you see. And then the highway. And I'm headed back because I'm absolutely frozen. Riley, come on. Come on. You can do it. Yes. Well, as you can tell, I couldn't get Riley to walk fast enough. By the time I got back to the RV, my fingers were frozen. Well, after my fingers thawed out, I was able to drive to a local pizzeria where I met my cousin who lives and works in Amarillo. Thanks for dinner. After dinner, I was exhausted from having to look at those wind turbines for such a long time on the drive. So I found a Sam's Club and I just pulled in and was able to sleep there all night. It got very, very cold, but the RV stayed pretty warm and I have some great blankets. In the morning, I got up, had breakfast, and I realized that I was pretty low on propane from all the heat that I was using to the furnace. So I stopped at a local RV park to get some propane, and look what I found. They were trying to simulate the Cadillac Ranch, I guess, with an RV. Pretty cute. One of the other places that we drove by was the Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico border. And when I got here, it just felt really monumental for me. I say later on in this video that it had a special place in my heart because I have a relationship with each one of these states. It's why I hate when people say, "Where are you from?" Well, I was born in New Mexico and I moved away when I was 3 months old, and I've spent a total of 16 years in Oklahoma and 16 years in Texas. No, 14 years in Texas and about 18 years in Germany. So you figure it out. I don't know where I'm from. Well, my friend recommended that I stop here at Rabbit Ear Cafe. This place is pretty much close to the border of Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico, all of which I have a close personal relationship with. So this has been an interesting drive so far. The weather is much nicer today. Last night it was a wind chill of 6, which is ridiculously cold, and the ice on the RV was crazy. Yes, I let it get a little too cold. I keep a kennel by my bed, and this is the water bowl that's attached to it. And that's ice in there. Like I said, we did okay with how low the temperatures got that night. Luckily, we were able to snuggle, and you see I have pretty warm jackets and blankets and hoods and so forth. But I'm not feeling too well. I got somewhat of a cold, so I wasn't sleeping well, and I worried most of the night. Well, the reason I didn't sleep well is just I was worried. I was a little anxious about what the weather had done over in the New Mexico, Colorado area, and that is where I was headed. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it as far north as I wanted to get, but as you can see, the roads seem to be okay, but I'm not to Rattan Pass just yet. What a beautiful drive and a nice view of Kaplan Volcano. I wasn't going to drive up and around. It's only a few miles, but it's really windy and it's a windy road, and all the ice and the cold that we've had, I was just a little leery, so I did not drive up and around. But as I continued onward to New Mexico, I came across this beautiful view, and you can see those are the Rocky Mountains. Unfortunately, we did not make it to Colorado. I was a little leery of Rattan Pass with the way the weather had been for me lately, and especially just getting Sofie out of the shop. So I stopped and had a Colorado lager just because I was that close to Colorado. But one thing that I was very excited about seeing was the second largest canyon in the United States. Well, I made it to the Palo Duro Canyon, which is just south of Amarillo, Texas. And I didn't even know that this existed. I've lived in Borger before, which is probably maybe an hour or so from here, and I never knew this was here. So this is the second largest canyon in the United States. It's very quiet. Very peaceful. There's a few little trails I think Riley and I are going to investigate. This turned out to be a gorgeous day for a hike and just kind of sitting around enjoying the views. I cannot believe the difference in weather. So I'm so glad that I went. It was my first time here and it was just beautiful. So I just got pulled over because I didn't have my tag attached to the front of the vehicle. You know, moving from Florida to Texas, Florida didn't have tags in the front. So anyway, I just never made the time to put it on there. Big mistake. I'm not going to go into full detail in this video on why it was such a big mistake, but let me guarantee you that I have a video to share with you after this one. Give me a few days and I'll post it of what happened during that stop. But my priority at this point was to get the tag attached to the front of the vehicle. Looked and I didn't have the right tools to put the license plate on, so I came here and they got it on temporarily, and now I'm headed to AutoZone to find the right parts to put it on permanently. With everything that took place during this almost 6-hour stop by the police, I was just exhausted, nervous, angry, whatever words you want to describe. So I could not drive that night. I stayed in the RV, actually right there at the police station, and started home the next day. This day also turned out to be another gorgeous day for a drive. What seemed like the trip from hell, I just got kind of silly and I don't know how I feel about it, but you'll see more in the next video. I did take a different way home and stopped at this cook's garage. It was really cool, and one of the things I'm laughing about is I took this picture because of everything I'd just been through with the police. You can see how morbid my mind is, but I did have dinner there and it was excellent. And if you happen to know a car person, this is the restaurant to take them to. Very good. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to hit the like button, give it a thumbs up, and share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. I think you'll want to watch the next video. It's going to be short and sweet, but I do tell you what happened pretty much within those 6 hours of being stopped by the police. In the meantime, love, Lainie.